Massachusetts Canal Lanes. We are in the 6th and final week of our women's division matches. This week will wrap it up for this particular phase, and the men's division will be back next week with Craig Benoit to defend his championship. Should be some good bowling on which to count here on Let's Go Bowling. Quick word about our format. It is a two-game total pinfall situation with handicap pins figured in, and throughout the course of the match we will figure those pins in and let you know just how that's going to affect the outcome. As usual, should anyone manage 3 consecutive marks, they'll be in line for a very special $25 cash bonus, and then for each additional consecutive mark after that, $25 more. So a lot on the line besides just first and second place prize money. Without any further hesitation, let us meet the competitors for this afternoon's match. First of all, our challenger from Forest Park Lanes and Springfield, Angie Grimaldi, and she'll be going up against our defending champion from Greenfield and French King Bowling Center, Sharon Rawson. And we'll be back with the first game right after this. Angie Grimaldi. And a very good first ball. Had a little hitch in her approach there, and she actually had the 5-pin wobbling. Angie Grimaldi from Springfield. And picks up a spare. A little apprehensive in the warm-ups, but didn't show too many nerves right there.
That'll loosen her right up.
Angie Grimaldi from Forest Park Lanes. Averages 99, takes out, talk about a working ball, takes out 7 more. Averages 99, bowled a 143, a 113, and a 103 to qualify. Well, how about 2 spares in a row for Angie Grimaldi?
Angie's gone right at Sharon.
Now watch the contrast. We're talking maybe the difference between a Phil Necro and a Nolan Ryan.
Here we go.
Kind of thing. And this is Nolan Ryan, otherwise known as Sharon Rawson. Everything but the 7. Sometimes when she's a little bit off the mark, the speed and the spin with which she throws the ball makes up for it. Hangs on and gets that 7, so picks up a 10. Angie Grimaldi carries an 8-pin handicap advantage. And of course, we'll figure that in throughout the match for you. Sharon Rawson. And look at that. Still gets the pin action. 3, 7, 9, 10. Everything but the 7. Going for her second consecutive 10. Picks it up. Now Angie Grimaldi. And once again, she's a little hesitant there.
Checked out the approach.
Checked out the approach. Boy, they're just not getting much speed on the ball, but that's not obviously the secret for her. Everything but the 5. Great fill for that second spare. And gets the whirlybird effect on the pin, but doesn't get the 5.
That was a very difficult spare leave she had.
And there it picks up the 10. She is very close to the foul line. In fact, fouled once or twice in practice, so that's on her mind, and perhaps if she hitches that approach, it's because she feels she might be starting a little too far forward.
That's right, Hub. She wants to set a mark on the approach, usually a board or some type of an identifying mark where she knows she will not go over the foul line.
Because the steps will be the same.
Exactly.
And a little bit of a problem here in her 4th box for Angie Grimaldi. Still has 4 pins left. And that ball veers to the right, and going to take a 7. But a pretty solid start for the challenger from Springfield. Now the champ from Greenfield.
Here comes Rawson.
Pins don't wobble and go down in slow motion for her. They fly out of there. 3, 5, 6 combo. Now, she hit the deadwood, but she did not get the 3, the 5, or the 6. Quick reminder, we're going to be back all summer long. There she picks it up. All summer long. And we're going to be conducting roll-offs every week at all Western New England lanes for both male and females, for both men's and women's divisions. Right down the middle, takes out only the 1 and the 5. Now she's little Gaylord Perry there, goes to the mouth. Still has 4 pins left. And takes an 8. Angie Grimaldi.
She's having some tremendous pin action on lane 14, though.
Yes, she is, and she's got tremendously packed-in wood guarding the 7 and the 8. And she'll wait for it to stop rolling as that determines her shot and as rules require.
We'll get down the left-hand side of the lane here and hope to push it all in.
Well, she went down the right side and almost got away with it. And left the 8 pin.
It's very difficult to push in 3 or 4 pins.
There you saw just how close Angie comes to that foul line. She picks up the 8, picks up the 10. You can't argue. She's been rock solid steady. Once again, you see how close she is to that foul line. There's 4 horsemen to the right. And, of course, as you mentioned, very important where you set up. Everything but the 10 pin. You bowlers who feel that you might not have quite that much mustard on it, you're getting a lesson in perseverance today. Angie, of course, into the channel there. The pin will stay up as the ball came back out. You don't have to fire it quite like that.
Right. Marcel Aiken, who was on the show a couple of weeks ago, threw the ball the same way as Angie's throwing it now. It's accuracy and not speed. But Rawson combines both, and when she's on, she's going to be tough to beat.
Only gave away 8 pins to start this match, so it's basically a scratch situation. But through 4 frames, a 15-pin lead for Angie Grimaldi. Add on the 8, and you got a 23-pin edge. So right away, Sharon Rawson with the...
Sharon's got this wood that's rolling back and forth on lane 14.
Played it perfectly. She is a very creative and outstanding shot maker. We saw that last week against our defending champion, Lynn Hayden. Now, what are the odds of sliding right there between the 2 and the 4 without doing any damage?
That's what we tell you. There's 12 inches between those pins. I know it doesn't look it from here, but you can actually walk right between them.
That ball was off to the left, so she left the 2 pin and now has to go to the right side, cuts her losses, and takes out the 6 pin. Angie Grimaldi. At that time, she was a little bit back from the foul line and didn't quite get the pin action, so maybe she altered her delivery just a tad to cut down on the risk of the foul.
Angie took a deep breath there, just wants to put it down the middle, just like that.
Just like that, and can't quite get the 10 pin, but a very nice out. There you see, through 7 frames, 81 pins. Angie's average 99, so she's bowling very, very well.
10 pins above her average at this point.
Would dearly love for the 6 and 10 to say goodbye, but they don't. So she's got the 4, 7, 6, 10 wood in between. Only took out the 6. Still has the 4, 7, and wood rolling in and out of consideration for Angie Grimaldi, our challenger. First appearance on Let's Go Bowling. Now the wood just wasn't there. So that's the first real break for Angie Grimaldi. And that, of course, should be a break for Sharon Rawson, but instead of taking advantage, it's half Worcester right. Through 6 frames, 15-pin edge, add the 8, 23-pin lead for our challenger. Still 3 pins for Sharon Rawson. 5, 6, 10. Took out the 6, so just can't really get it cooking. And there you see 81 to 65, 16-pin difference, add the 8, 24 pins. That's the deficit. That's the kind of ball she wants to deliver on the first try. Still has 3, the 2, 4, 8. Well, missed the front pin. And bowling a little bit more deliberately than the last appearance on the show, although there's still not that much time in between deliveries. And Angie Grimaldi takes out 3 pins. Has a 21-pin lead headed into the 9th. That's a spare. That's a big spare. Because Sharon had little by little chipped away a little bit.
That's right. She was throwing 10s up against 7s, so she was chipping away up, like you mentioned. That's a big spare for Angie.
Not much of a fill, though.
Only 2.
Needed a bigger fill to put a little more distance between herself and the champion as we come up towards halftime. A little bit of flight on that ball. Got it down before the lob line, but that affects, of course, how the ball's able to react to the lane and get into the groove that you want. And there is the foul.
She'll lose 2 pins on that, Hub.
So Angie Grimaldi with trouble in the 10th. And now the question is, can Sharon Rawson make her pay for it a little bit as we come up towards halftime? An even 104 for Angie Grimaldi, so a 112 total with her 8-pin handicap.
Sharon's looking at this wood down here, and I believe she'll go down at the 4-pin, try to hit the dead wood down at the end. She didn't want to go at the band. She wanted to go left.
Wanted to go left, didn't quite make it, so the opportunity to make up all sorts of ground is minimized. There she takes out the 2 pins in the 9th. So through 9 frames, Sharon Rawson down by 16, add the 8, 24. So she lost a little bit of ground in the last couple of frames.
When Sharon defeated Lynn Hayden last week, Hub, her ball was exploding down there. If you're watching her today, it seems like she's a different bowler out there. The ball is just actually knocking down the pins that she's making contact with. It's got to get some action on it. See, she's going straight through.
Not glancing the pins off into one another, and that, of course, minimizes the pin action, which was the outstanding feature of her game against Lynn Hayden.
That's exactly right. Anything she hit just exploded.
Takes out a total of only 6. A 104 to 90, that's a 14-pin difference. Add the 8 for 22. Angie Grimaldi leads by 22. Well, let's pause for this tour of an outstanding Western New England Candlepin Association facility. Starting off game 2, Angie Grimaldi, and has that little hitch each time, getting the boards exactly right. Doesn't want to foul. She's fouled once, takes out a total of 6 pins. She leads by 22. Lynn Hayden, our defending champion, still has the high single as Angie Grimaldi picks up a spare. That's almost a replay of the first frame.
That's an exact replay of the very first frame.
Takes 2 steps, stops, goes back, delivers the good first ball, then picks up the spare. Whoops. That was wrong out of the hand. Yeah.
I think the ball slipped out of her hand.
Yeah. And just how much that's going to cost her, we'll have to see. And I don't know whether that's a function of tossing the ball as she does right before she goes or not. Could be.
It is, yeah. If you look at it from that view over there, she actually flips the ball up in the air, Hub. And I think what happened on her first ball, she didn't get a proper
Didn't
grip
quite
on
get
it.
the grip right back, yeah. It's, everybody has their little signatures, though, on the delivery. And you can't criticize, because if that's what makes them feel comfortable and do a good job, more power to them. So we'll just point them out. We won't say whether they're right or wrong. We'll just point them out.
That's exactly right. Sharon's is that she's got to get herself fired up. We talked to her between the strings over here, and she said that she's just a little bit complacent about it. She's got to get the old rhythm going.
Good opportunity to get the rhythm right here. Oh, nice sharpshooting to get by that fallen pin and pick up a 10. So still even, down by 22 pins. Good first ball delivery now going for Sharon Rawson, our defending champ from Greenfield. We'll remind you, this is our 6th and final week, so whichever bowler wins this afternoon, we'll have 6 weeks to think about it before coming back, because the men and Craig Benoit come in next week. Angie a little bit off the mark to the left there, took out 5. Wanted to use that wood to her advantage. Has the 1 pin wobbling. Would love for that to go down, so all she'd have to worry about is the 10, but can't get it. Goes towards the head pin and kicks it out of there. Beautiful shot. Crafting that shot, Angie Grimaldi, our challenger. Big 10. Got to start strong right here. Good first ball once again. Takes out 7 pins. Oh, a little bit to the left of where she wanted to be.
Angie wanted to hit that deadwood right on the side so she could carry the 5 into the 6 and 10.
Going to try it again. Well, just did miss the 6, so the idea was right. She was just a ball late. Sharon Rawson needs for the pins to start falling. I think we're seeing the beginning of a charge here. 2 and 5 still up there.
This is a big mark.
If she can put a mark here, it'll be her second spare. It is. Hold on.
He's got the vibes going again now, Hub.
We were talking about how difficult it is and how different it is to be the champion all of a sudden and have something to lose. And gets a big break. Has only the 7 pin. And the 7 is wobbling. Has a pin rolling back. And is a factor in this shot, very definitely.
You want to push the end of the wood right in at that pin. Right there.
Diagram it, that's the way it goes. Angie Grimaldi, a little bit of a flight on that ball and a half Worcester right. We'll see how she responds to the pressure because the heat is on. Well, that was not what she wanted to do, quite obviously. Salvages about as much as there was right there. 9 pins. Right now, Sharon Rawson ahead in this particular game by 19, which means she's down by 3. We've got a scratch match. And for Angie Grimaldi, that's all too early in this second game to be back to a scratch situation. That 22-pin advantage that she turned the corner with has dissolved and vanished.
I think when that ball slipped out of her on that first spare fill over there, it really took away her advantage.
And just not finding the mark at all. Of course, early on, she was a little concerned about that foul line. Well,
a nice out.
Yep. Leaves a 7 and the 10. Now she's a little concerned maybe about that grip on the ball after having that gutter situation. And Sharon Rawson is in the hunt once again. 6-10.
$25 more waiting down there. There it goes.
Pick it up. Bonus cash. Now for each additional consecutive mark, $25 more. She's got 4 in a row, so she's got $50. Half Worcester left, and if you're thinking in terms of the match and not the cash, not a great fill. Has her work cut out. Still has the 4-7, 6-10.
Should go down at the 4-7 here, we think.
And you got it. Much easier for the right hand to go right to left.
Go cross lane, right.
And
he's got 14 working for her again.
That's right. That's right. Tough shot.
This is a hard shot. She's got double wood in here again. She played it perfectly.
Played it perfectly, and it's not how hard you throw it, it's where you throw it. As Angie Grimaldi proves, there's the spare on the 7th. You see the difference. 31 pins, which translates to a 9-pin lead for Sharon Rawson. Gets a 6 fill for the spare. Have to go with this in stages, I would think. Well, that was a little different. We got the 3 and the 4. I was going to try and kick the 3 over into the 4 because the 3 was a little ahead of the 4, but couldn't quite do it. 7 pins for Sharon Rawson.
Sharon will probably try to activate this wood that's partially lying down on the gutter. Right there. Great shot.
Missed everything but the 5. So even with the power, she can have that delicate touch, too. And unfortunately, is a little off the mark, so an opportunity for a 10 goes by the wayside. There you see, 24-pin lead. So she's down to a 2-pin lead.
2-pin match, right.
And all that hard work that Angie Grimaldi put in Game 1 is coming back to her, paying dividends, because she is still very much in this match.
Going back up on her lane 14, too, Hub.
Anything can happen when Angie stares at the 1-4.
There's 4 big pins down there for Sharon.
Goes left side and clears the ball. Very nice shot for the 10. Angie Grimaldi with...
We went back through it again, Hub. You saw it.
That's right. And And every time she does it, it seems to pay off. You know, 6 pins right there.
Right.
She's not doing the rumba. She's just
right down on the left.
That's a case of where a little more mustard might have helped her out a little bit.
And that pin actually came across rather than being pushed back into the 10 pin.
A little bit of a... Oh, and she got the ball to kick in and hit that 10. So Angie Grimaldi is right there at 88. We mentioned her average is 99. She bowled a 104 in her first game, so...
She spares here. She'll force Sharon to mark.
Well, she's got a chance for that spare. She's got the 3, the 5, and the 6. Big, big shot for Angie Grimaldi. This is a good match. This is a good match. Got a shot at it.
Got it.
Got it. So Angie Grimaldi is not through yet. Sharon Rawson isn't either. Time to do a little bit of math here and see what the possibilities are.
Oh, that's with the eraser out here.
Oh, and she stamped and got it.
She learned that up at French King Bowling Center.
That's right. If there's an earth tremor in progress, help it out. And she got the strike. Oh, what a big mark.
It's a big one.
She wanted the big fill, got a 6.
Still got another ball over here, Hub. If she converts this, it'll close the door now.
Didn't get the 7. Did not get the 7. She'll have to make a 3rd trip. A 9. Angie Grimaldi. Little double clutch there. Here it is.
Straight.
Takes out a total of 6 pins. Sharon Rawson is in with a 132. Angie Grimaldi is in with a 104. That's a 28-pin difference. Looks as if a 6-pin difference is going to be what it ends up. And Sharon Rawson is our champion and will spend the next 6 weeks as champion. We'll be back with the presentations right after this. Welcome back to Let's Go Bowling, an outstanding match. Anytime you can come down to the last couple of frames and either the challenger or the champ needs a mark to win, you've had yourself an outstanding match, and we can thank our challenger, Angie Grimaldi, for that. Angie, thanks very much, and gave us some good moments on the show. Thanks very much. And here is our champion, Sharon Rawson, going to present her with the check for first prize money. Also 4 marks, so there is bonus money reflected in that total. So I think we might have to back in a step van or something here, because you've also got the plaque emblematic of your championship over this course of the 6-week span. You also have the high single, which means black and white TV, so we may have to get a porter to help you out here. Sharon Rawson, thanks very much. Enjoyed it very much. She is our champion for this 6-week women's division span. Now, don't forget, next week we will be back with the men's division for 6 weeks. Craig Benoit will be here to defend that championship. And also, don't forget, we're going to be back all summer long with outstanding action from the men's and women's division. That's all the time we have for this week. So for now, what's the word at Canal Lanes? Let's go bowling. See you next week.